So I'm thinking 5 days in a hospital to it's like 24. I'm gonna need 30K. Lady says to me, she's like, 我就觉得，我就想，她一定是搞错的。
大家好，又是会菜。我现在要去访问来自英国的外国人，他的小孩发生了一个非常严重的一个事情。我就是想要他今天分享这个故事给大家听。我们先订阅我的频道 and let's start watching. You have a son.
Sure.
Can you tell us some story about your son? I saw a video on YouTube. You took him to the hospital or something. What was it?
He got enterovirus when he was 1.5 last year.
Yes.
什么肠胃病毒什么东西 and so you get dots in you get your hands all becoming spots and then your feet and then your mouth is blistered. So then he couldn't drink because it's too painful, so we had to take him to the hospital, and by that point he was kind of like, what? He hadn't drank, he was dehydrated, and he couldn't eat, so he was hungry, so he was crying, and he had a temperature. It was like nearly 39, 40, so pretty dangerous. So we get straight to the hospital, and they're like, okay, this is serious. Straight into the hospital. They had to put a drip in him, you know?
Yeah.
To put the fluids into his body. And then straight away, he was in there. We were there for two days in the hospital ward. And then he got his own room. So we had our own room in the hospital where you could like shower. And the nurses and the doctors were all looking after him. And then we're there for about 5 days in total. And he's fine after that. And that was great, yeah. So because obviously, you know, we're new parents. I didn't really know much about this virus, and I didn't know what to do. But like the hospital were really, the people there, the nurses and the doctors, they were really first-class service. Hospitals in Taiwan, the medical system, it's really first-class service. They fixed my son up really well, looked after him, cared for him, and then he was fine. That day, my wife said, take some cash. Can't pay by card, get some cash out. So I'm thinking I take 30K out. He had insurance, like my son's got insurance, so I said whatever it costs, we get the money back anyway, so it doesn't matter. So I'm thinking 5 days in a hospital, 3 or 4 nights in our own private room, doctors like 24. I'm gonna need 30K, but anyway I don't care because 他有保险.
You'll be like reimbursed or something.
Yeah, it would be reimbursed.
Yeah.
So I get to the counter. I have to fill out a few forms, blah blah blah. I got my son here, got him in his little pushchair, take all his clothes, and then the lady says to me, she's like, 300 NT.
300 NT?
我就觉得，我就想，他一定是搞错的。
Like 300,000 maybe.
对，所以我再问他一下，我说小姐，你有没有搞错？是多少钱？他说300块。
Wow.
So
amazing.
My car parking was 600. Like 600 for the car park. Car in and out of the hospital because like my wife came parked the car and then I went home on the scooter and then she came and back and says like it's maybe even more, maybe 1,000 for parking for like the 4 or 5 days. The hospital's 300.
Wow.
Plus then we had insurance as well, so that was all covered. So
amazing.
So my wife called. My wife's Taiwanese. She was like, oh, 那个多少钱? I was like 300. So 300怎么可能? She's like, 你要跟他们确认一下吗? I was like, 没有，我要跟他们确认。他说300而已。他说好。I left the hospital. I felt like a thief or something. You know? I felt like I'm stealing something from the country. 那个是公家的钱。我是一个小偷还是什么东西？所以我就偷偷离开那个医院。
Wow. This is really cheap.
So 300. So then I learned that because the child's under 3. The government give some subsidies, and then because it was enterovirus, this highly contagious virus, they give some more subsidies, something like this. So it cost me 300 NT. Amazing. My child was fixed, and that was it. So I was like super happy, and I was like Taiwan 医疗，真的。Number one, Taiwan number one.
I heard a lot of stories actually. Taiwanese healthcare system is really brilliant. In comparison to most countries, it's really brilliant.
Oh, in England, man, like it's free in England. It's free, everything's free.
Okay.
No health card, just free.
But
you're gonna be like laying outside on the road for like 1 week. My wife, my brother's wife went there. They have 5 children. When the baby was sick. Oh man, she told me the story. It's horrible. She's waiting there for like 15 hours before someone could see the baby, you know. Baby's quite sick. There's like, sorry, there's no doctors.
15 hours?
Yeah, 15 hours in the waiting room. There's no doctors to see you. We've only got 1 doctor for the whole hospital. and she's there all day. England's good, like small things like you break an arm or something, but like if you need something in a maybe like that, an emergency or a child sick, especially at the weekend or something, very bad, my friend. Very bad.
Oh my lord.